Hi, everyone. I am very grateful to be here with my dear friend who I've known. We were just talking about it before we popped on here for our summit for Empowered Boss Ladies, which Judi is an amazing empowered boss lady. And we've been dear friends, gosh, since 1999, which is a long time. And we actually have gone through the same stages together, but she is and always has been just this amazing businesswoman, not just an amazing businesswoman, but also very wise. Like I personally don't have a lot of people that I go to for personal advice. And she's one of the first people that I can go to, and she gives me not just great business advice, but also great personal advice. Like she's just like everything all rolled up into one. So here is her amazing bio that is just Judi Gavia is a veteran in mortgage lending, having assisted hundreds of borrowers in realizing their dream of home ownership. During the past 30 years, she's built a solid reputation in the industry as tirelessly representing the needs of her clients and going the extra mile to reflect the importance of every loan transaction. She recognizes that people have many options to go to in the mortgage lending industry and works hard to earn the trust, which I'm going to tell you that I trust her implicitly, and earn the trust of her borrowers that she services. I have a hard time with borrowers. Maybe I'm not supposed to be borrowing any money. Maybe not any money. Finding the right loan for your needs is paramount in all that she does. And she is really committed to helping you find the loan that's right for you. So she does a wide variety of things. I was just in an event at her home for breast cancer, and she does a lot of giving back through the community, through volunteer work, and currently sits on the board of directors for several nonprofit and mentors women of all ages. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on here, is because you are such a great mentor. And spending quality time with her family, living an active lifestyle, and giving back to her community are very important parts of her life. So she's going to share more with how to reach out to her later. But Judi, is there anything that I missed? Because you have such a rich life.
Thank you, Lori Ann. It's so good to see you, even if we are across the miles doing it. You know, you covered my professional life and some of my personal life. I will tell you that I've been a businesswoman most of my adult life. I owned my own company for 20 plus years, sold in 2006, and have been working with Sierra Pacific Mortgage since then. I have 3 beautiful children, a daughter who lives in San Diego, and 2 sons that are both in college. One of my sons just began medical school, and the other is studying to become an air traffic controller. And I am just blessed with amazing friends, amazing family. And I will also tell you that I just surpassed my 1 year of being a breast cancer survivor. So I'm happy to share that with you and with your friends.
That is so amazing. And the industry that you're in is such a male-dominated industry. And you shared a story with me not too long ago about how the loan process was, how you used to have to go into a room of men. Can you share that? Because I thought that was fascinating. And then I wanted to follow up with a question on that. So tell us about that story.
Okay, well, I started, almost 38 years ago in the mortgage lending business at a time when the jobs that females had in the industry were primarily assisting the man in the business. So they were answering the phones, they were processing the loans, they were doing more of the behind the scenes, very important jobs. Still to this day, very important jobs, but there were very few women at the time in the town in which I lived that were loan officers that were originating loans, so we're in the sales end of things on the outside, dealing with realtors and with the clientele out there. So I was young, I was 21 years old, and I looked like I was 15, so I had a lot kind of working against me when I first started to overcome. And you know, I was raised by 2 parents who had overcome much in their lives, and they taught me to be an overcomer. They taught me to pull myself up when I got knocked down and just get back in there and try again. And so that's what I did. And it was, my first couple of years were tough. So the whole premise of loan committee, which it was what I was talking to you about, back in the old times, you know, in mortgage lending, the people that approved loans at that point in time were a loan committee, and it was primarily men that sat on the loan committee, and you used to have to go and present your loan file to them. So we did a lot of paperwork. We were taking our applications by hand. It was kind of pre-computer, everything being computer generated. And I would put a paper file together, and then I would go in once or twice a week, and I would present the loans that I had to the loan committee. And it was challenging. It was challenging because there was a good old boy network, and I was a young female who looked a lot younger than I was, and it was challenging. And I will tell you, I sharpened my teeth in those loan committee rooms. It taught me how to think on my feet, how to handle, I don't want to call it aggression, but just handle different circumstances that I was faced with, and really have to overcome so that I could best represent my clients. And I think it made me a stronger loan officer, loan originator, mortgage specialist because of what I experienced in those years.
Absolutely. How did you even get started in such a, you know, a field that was so male dominated?
Well, you know, serendipity, God, I mean, you can call it all kinds of things, but I was, you know, I came from a family that didn't have a lot of money. So going to college was something that I had to pay for. So I had finished one of the semesters in school, and I needed to earn some money. So I took a job answering telephones at a mortgage banking company. And it was First California Mortgage. It no longer exists, but it was a mortgage banking company that was tied to First California Bank at that point in time. And I fell in love with the business, and I kind of learned the industry from the inside out, which I think also makes me stronger at what it is that I do. And I just kind of worked my way up, and pretty quickly somebody saw in me the ability, maybe the strengths or the gifting of being able to be on the sales side of things. So I was offered that position, and I took it, and I just never looked back. I just fell in love with the business.
That's amazing. I never asked you that question, and that's amazing that you started literally on the phone. So you know all aspects. So mentor, you know, I'm curious about, did somebody mentor you? And if yes, who has had the biggest impact? And I know your parents have had a big impact, but outside of that, who outside of that has been one of your biggest mentors?
I had a few teachers when I was in school. Interestingly enough, one of them was my dance teacher, my modern dance teacher, but just a really incredibly powerful, just strong, driven woman. And she was an encourager in my life. Her name was Sharon Marks, and she was an encourager in my life. And you know, I watched her not quit during some circumstances in her own life. And I just was really fortunate to have both men and women in my life that were overcomers. And it was, it taught me a lot, just observing, and they modeled for me the kind of behavior that I wanted to have in my life. And I shared with you my parents first and foremost, but separate from that, there was also when I went to work for that first mortgage company and first started to go and make what we call cold calls. I didn't know anybody. Oh my gosh, I was so new. It was amazing how green I was with everything. But I got to know a broker at one of the Century 21 offices in the town in which I lived. And he was an amazing mentor to me. His name was Gene Argain. I will never forget that man. He's since passed, but he had a huge office. He probably managed 100 people. He was just an incredible man. And he was an encourager for me and a mentor for me. And he spoke truth into my life, whether I wanted to hear it or not. There were times when, you know, he wanted to see something different out of me professionally. And he made suggestions, and he sharpened me as iron sharpens iron. He had two sayings that have always stuck with me. One of them was, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. And meaning that if you are going to get out and do something, do it in the most powerful way that you possibly can. Work as hard as you can, do it as well as you can. And the other saying that he always shared with me that has just stuck with me all these years is that life is not a dress rehearsal. So we have this one life that we get to live, and you know what a blessing to have it, that we better make the most of it. We better be doing the things that we enjoy and giving back in any way that we possibly can, and taking the encouragement and advice from other people, and then being available so that this next generation that comes behind us, that we can mentor and encourage and advise them and share our wisdom and our life experience with them.
That's
So
amazing.
those were huge mentors for me.
That's so great. And with that being said, because you're one of my mentors, and I know that we do a lot of things together. But I mean, seriously, I look to you and always and look for your advice. And so, with that being said, what would you say to your younger self? If you could go back in time and say, "Listen, Judi, I will need to tell you something," what would you say?
Stop worrying so much.
Ah,
That's a big one. I excelled in worrying, and I still have a tendency, I take what I do really, really seriously, and I want to do the best job that I can for my clients. I want to do the best job in being the mom that I am, being the spouse that I am, being the friend that I am, and serving my community in the way that I do. And there are times when I have a tendency to worry that things aren't going the way that I hope that they will, or that I wanted them to go. And I think I would tell my younger self, stop worrying, balance it out, and enjoy. Look around, open your eyes, lift your head, and look around. There is so much incredible beauty out there. There are so many amazing people out there. Don't miss it by worrying.
Ah, such good advice. I love that. I think we all could learn from that. And then you also, I'd like to know, because I know your day, you hit the ground running and you're off. So what is the biggest challenge for what you do, and what is the biggest blessing? The best part of your day, and the hardest part of your day?
The best part of my day, I'm incredibly grateful to be in the industry that I am in. I get to help people with one of the largest purchases that they ever make in their lives. And there is, what a blessing. You know, my clients, most of my clients become friends. And I am committed to them, and they're just incredible. I'm blessed with clients that come back to me and repeat business and refer their friends. I love starting the process and then 30 or so days later finishing the process and being able to assist people either with obtaining some financial independence through refinancing or purchasing their home, especially those first-time home buyers. It's just so amazing. I think that's the best part of my day. I'm a problem solver by nature, and I love that. When someone says no to me, that means or not this direction, that's just an opportunity for me to pivot and figure out a way to look for solution. And I love that. It just excites me to be able to do that. The worst part of my day probably is the regulatory perspective of the things that I'm working with, especially in our new COVID environment. The regulations that we follow, you better write them in pencil, because you're going to be adding to them and erasing and changing. This year, there have just been a lot of changes. And when you are committed to the job that you do for people, it requires that you be available pretty much when the phone rings. So I think the time, I get up at 5 or 5:30 every morning. I have, some personal things that I do first, but then I hit the ground running, and I kind of lift my head at the end of the day and realize it's dinner time. So I think just the busyness and maybe challenge with balancing that out with the rest of my life is probably the most challenging for me.
You do have a great morning routine. Can you share with us what because I always find it fascinating that every powerhouse woman that I talk to has had a morning routine. So can you share yours?
I can. Well, let's see. I get up really early. My alarm goes off at 5 o'clock in the morning, and actually, my body now is has a natural alarm, and so I kind of wake up before my phone alarm goes off. And I spend some time with God and praying and just kind of thinking about things. If I'm in the middle of doing a study of some kind, I may do some reading. And I just, I read a little bit in my journal, and I think about the things that I'm grateful for, and I just kind of ponder my day. It's quick. It could be 15 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, and then I roll out of bed, and several days a week I get together with you,
Yes.
and I work out. I try to do something physical, even if it's just a little bit, a walk or something that I'm doing, but I try to do something physical every day. But my favorite 3 days are the 3 times that I get to be with you during the week, for a lot of reasons, physically, but also emotionally. You're one of my persons, and I love our time together. So that is my routine, and it just kind of gets me ready. It gets me grounded before the craziness of my day.
That's so beautiful that you do that. It sets the tone for the day. But I also wanted to answer before we popped on here. I wanted to have you share something that was very powerful for me that you shared with me personally. And it's, we had talked about how as we grow as women and we become more and more successful, a lot of times you get pot shots at you, not always there. It's not everybody, women don't always realize that if she has it, so can I. And you shared some of your wisdom around that as I've grown, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on finding women supporting women, and what your thoughts are on that. And I think you also have a wonderful poem.
Yeah, well, it's not a poem, but it's something that I found a few years ago. I think having a tribe, a herd, a small group, having women that we are surrounded by, that we trust, is so powerful. Can I read you? This is something that I
Yeah.
found, oh gosh, I probably found it 6 or 7 years ago, and I've shared it with my small group. I've shared it with my friends, my family, with the women that I mentor and the women that mentor me. This, I think, is so powerful, and I think it really speaks to what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
In the wild, when a mama elephant is giving birth, all of the other female elephants in the herd back around her in formation. They close ranks so that the delivering mama cannot even be seen in the middle. They stomp and kick up dirt and soil to throw attackers off the scent and basically act like a pack of badasses. They surround the mama and incoming baby in protection, sending a clear signal to the predators that if they want to attack their friend while she is vulnerable, they'll have to get through 40 tons of female aggression first. When the baby elephant is delivered, the sister elephants do 2 things. They kick sand or dirt over the newborn to protect its fragile skin from the sun, and then they all start trumpeting, a female celebration of a new life, of sisterhood, of something beautiful being born in a harsh and wild world. Despite enemies and attackers and predators and odds. Scientists tell us this. They normally take this formation in only 2 cases: under attack by predators like lions, or during the birth of a new elephant. And this is what we do, girls. When our sisters are vulnerable, when they are giving birth to new life, to new ideas, to new ministries, new spaces, new businesses, or when they are under attack, when they need their people to surround them so that they can create, deliver, heal, recover, we get in formation. We close ranks and literally have each other's backs. You want to mess with our sister? You'll come through us first, and good luck with that. And when delivery comes, when new life makes its entrance, when healing finally begins, and when the night has passed and our sister is ready to rise back up, we sound our trumpets because we saw it through together. We celebrate, we cheer, and we give thanks. You are never alone, and maybe you need this. If you are closing ranks around a vulnerable sister, or if your girls have you surrounded while you are tender or building something new, this is how we do it. This is the privilege of sisterhood, and there is no community like a community of women. And you know, Lorianne, every time I read this, it almost brings me to tears. And I read it constantly and share it constantly. There is something powerful about a group of females that are looking out for each other and buffering and protecting each other from the harshness of the world. It is such a beautiful and incredibly powerful thing, and it just never ceases to amaze me. Friendships are so necessary in the crazy world in which we live. They're so powerful that even the animals have figured out how important that is, to have their tribe, their group, their herd around them. And you know what else is interesting about that? When I think back, when I look at the people in my life, the people that are in my small group, the people that are my friends, my dearest friends, the people that are my tribe, my herd, it doesn't matter what you call them, the people I mentor, the people that mentor me, they're from all walks of life, different ages. They're anywhere from 20s to 80s and beyond. They're different religions, different political parties. Some of them stay home and work caring for their children. Others are working outside of the home. They all look very different from me, but among the friends that are important in my life, I recognize that those differences don't mean anything. They're just differences, and they're part of what makes our relationship so powerful, I think. And I know this to be true for the women in my life, that when life throws something hard at me and heavy at me, they show up. It's incredible. They blanket me with their love. They encourage me. They correct me when I need correction. They call me out on things that I may need to recognize that I haven't recognized. And they encourage me and love me and speak wisdom into my life. And I can't imagine living my life without that. I'm really of the mindset that we can accomplish far more working together than we can competing with one another. There is enough love in the world, there are enough successes in the world, and there is enough good fortune for all of us. We don't have to compete so hard with one another. We should be celebrating the successes of our sisters and carrying their burdens when they become too heavy for them to carry themselves. I think we all need female friendships, women that we can depend upon and that we can be vulnerable with, which is such an important thing. And I think about, what if we all came together to build each other up rather than tearing each other down? What a world that would be.
Oh, that was just a beautiful, it does bring tears to my eyes when I hear that. That's such a beautiful story and just so true. And I'm so grateful that you were able to take a little bit of time away from your crazy busy day, because you're insanely busy helping lots of people build their dreams and have the home that they want or refinance. Pal, can you let the audience know how they can reach you and what you would like to share with them?
Absolutely. I think you're going to be sharing my website and email address, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I would love if any of you are interested in a pre-qualification or to take a look at your financial situation to see about maybe a refinance would be helpful for you. I am more than happy to be a resource for you, and I will run a credit report for you for free and give you an encrypted copy of that for your records. And I can sit down with you and help you to know what you can qualify for if you're interested in purchasing a home, and what are maybe some great things that you can do from a refinancing perspective if you'd like to refinance to consolidate some debt or just to lower the interest rate that you currently have. I am available all the time. My phone is always with me. And I'll give you my cell phone number. You can reach me at 916-768-4333. And I look forward to hearing from any of you. I'd love to be able to assist you.
And you are a loan mortgage specialist, not just in California. Can you share, because there will be people from all across the United States, so can you share what other states you practice in?
Yes, I am licensed in 5 states, so California, Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, and Florida.
Yeah, and you will be very lucky because she's pretty fierce. And a lot of times I'm taking the phone away from her while she's getting her workout in. And I'm just so great. I'm so grateful that you popped on this call and shared your beautiful gifts and your words of wisdom. You're such a ray of sunshine in my life, and I'm grateful for you. And I was just so happy that you're sharing your wisdom here.
Thank you, Lorianne. Really great being with you. I am just so privileged to have been just a small part of this. So thank you for allowing me to participate.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and hang on.